I would like him to answer my question. Why is that considered a trope?
Okay.
Why is it considered a trope to be concerned about American soldiers during these endless, nonsensical wars? Why is that considered a trope?
How many times have you gone to Arlington and paid your respect to American heroes?
I'm not talking to you, Conriquez, you terrorist piece of crap. I'm talking to the general.
Okay,
tell me why that's
please keep the answer.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back here with a new video. Today, we're going to check it out. Trump has unleashed US and Israel talk. This is going to be good. I'd love to check the video out with you guys. What is in this video is really, really crazy. There is a US citizen who supports Iran former president that died. She was actually defending him, to be precise. She said the man is a man of courage. So it's crazy how the video turned out, but I'd love you guys to check this video out with me, guys.
Well, I'm joined now by my panel, which includes Anna Kasparian, executive producer and host of The Young Turks, Glenn Greenwald, the host of System Update, Jonathan Conriquez, retired lieutenant colonel and IDF spokesman, and Mark Kemet, former general and US Assistant Secretary of State, and Goldie Gamari, the former Canadian lawmaker and Iranian activist. Well, welcome to all of you. Anna Kasparian, your response to Mike Pence there, laying out a moral and legal justification for these attacks on Iran.
First, I would like to ask Goldie whether she apologizes for laughing as Cenk Uygur, on the last episode he was on, was talking about dead American soldiers as a result of wars that the U.S. gets dragged into on behalf of Israel. Goldie, do you apologize for laughing at the thought of dead American soldiers?
Anna, no one's buying your jihadi propaganda lies. Everyone knows that Elika and I were laughing at
it's jihadi propaganda to be concerned about dead American soldiers who were forced to fight on behalf of Israel. Interesting. Okay. To answer your question,
Can I
Piers,
answer the question?
175 little girls have been slaughtered in an Iranian school. That was the first Israeli strike that took place.
Piers, may I
hang on one
answer the
second.
question?
Anna, hang on one second. You asked her a question. So I will let Goldie respond. Then you can respond to my question.
Well, she responded by claiming I'm sharing jihadi propaganda. I'm talking about dead American soldiers. So do you apologize or not?
Okay.
May I respond
Goldie,
without
quick
interruption?
response.
Thank you. So we were laughing at Cenk's bizarre anti-Semitic tropes about how Israel is responsible for every single incident that happens in the war. We were not laughing at
That's not what he said.
American soldiers. And you actually edited the video. So there you go. Everyone knows that you're lying. You're a laughing stock. You're a joke.
Everyone can go back and watch the full episode for
say.
Pierce's show. Right.
Okay.
The only ones who were respecting General Wesley Clark were myself and...
Okay, you know what? Look, Anna, you said your piece about Goldie. She's responded. Let's get back to the bigger picture, which I'm sure the other panelists would prefer us to do. Your response to Mike Pence, but both on the moral argument, because I do think that there are lots of people I know, including many on the left, who can understand a moral argument for getting rid of what has been a ruthless, bloodthirsty, vile regime that has caused terror not just to its own people but to the wider world, but hesitate about whether this is the legal thing to do. So I don't think it's just people on the right saying go, go, go. People on the left saying, well, I'm glad he's gone, and I'm glad the Ayatollah's gone. I'm glad a lot of the top leadership have gone, but I'm not sure that this is legal, and the precedent being set is very dangerous.
My view of this current war against Iran is that Iran did not pose a threat to the United States. Their ballistic missiles did not have the capability to reach the United States. And the notion that this was all about Iran's weapons was a lie from the very beginning. This is about a regime change war on behalf of Israel. Israel would like to be the hegemon in the Middle East. And the United States is spilling blood and basically using its treasure to help Israel build an empire that I guarantee you will turn around and, well, we'll suffer the consequences of that at some point. But we're suffering the consequences of it right now. I mean, the first thing Israel did is strike an Iranian girls' school, killing 175 people. That's according to the New York Times, which typically likes to bury the wrongdoings of the Israeli government and military. I don't see this as a just war. I don't think that President Donald Trump has a plan for what happens following the slaughter of the Ayatollah or the destruction of the Iranian regime. In fact, he has said as much. He said it is not the U.S.'s job to figure out who leads Iran next.
Whether it's Israel or the U.S. who struck, or whether it's some type of a false flag operation by the IRGC, I wouldn't be surprised in any of the options. It could be an American or an Israeli strike at a proper military target that happened to be too close or co-located within or next to a school. And it could be something that was cooked up by the IRGC specifically for the purposes of having something to clutch at and having something to feed international media to show allegedly wrongdoing.
Okay.
We all
General
know
Khamenei,
that there's
as
one
we've been
country that seems to have an affinity for slaughtering children, and that country is Israel. But anyway.
No, that's actually
Okay,
Iran.
Anna, please quit using the tropes on American soldiers. I've had to bury 7 American soldiers. They went into
How
the
is it a trope?
battlefield.
How is it a trope? How is it a trope? How is it a trope to see American soldiers die on behalf of
pissed
Israel's
off.
wars? How is that a trope? Explain that to me.
Nobody's dying on behalf of Israel.
I'm not going to dignify that
Let me
with a
read
response.
you. Let me read you what Israeli media has been saying. So American soldiers came under friendly fire in Kuwait. I don't know if any of them have died. Hopefully none of them have died. But on Channel 12, Niv Raskin said this: "We need to emphasize this is an incident involving American forces and not, heaven forbid, an incident involving Israeli forces."
And why is he
What do you have to say to
representative
that?
of anything, Anna? Who makes him representative of anything? Why are you
This is a huge
cherry-picking
figure
him?
in Israeli media.
No,
saying
he's not
this
a
out
huge
loud.
figure. He's a talking head on
Sacrificing
a
American
morning
soldiers
show.
is totally okay, I guess.
Well, okay.
Oh,
Look, I want to bring in. I want to bring in.
I would like
hang on.
I'd like him to answer my question. Why is that considered a trope?
Okay.
Why is it considered a trope to be concerned about American soldiers during these endless, nonsensical wars? Why is that considered a trope?
How many
Explain that
times
to
have
me.
you gone to Arlington and paid your respect
I'm
to
not
American
talking to you,
heroes?
Conriquez, you terrorist piece of crap.
What?
I'm talking to the
Okay,
general.
Okay,
Anna,
let's-
Tell me why that's
please
considered
keep
a
the
trope.
How
ad
many
hominem
times have
down.
you honored
I
the
wanna-
memory of fallen
Hang on.
American soldiers?
Can we
Why
go
is it
back to
considered
the?
a trope?
Crazy.
With respect to what's happening today, first of all, I just want to say, thank you to the United States. Thank you to Israel for everything that they're doing. We Iranians were so grateful. And I can tell you that this has been one of the most amazing weekends, not just for me, but for Iranians in occupied Iran and around the world. Hearing the news of the death of Khamenei, that's like the equivalent of hearing the news of the death of Hitler. It's just something that we have been waiting for so long. And all I can say is thank you so much. God bless America. I'm Yisrael Chai. We cannot wait until Iran is free. And we can welcome Americans and Israelis back to Iran with open arms and be the allies that we were prior to 1970.
Did you agree? I mean, do you think the Ayatollah Khamenei was a courageous man?
Well, he never capitulated to the Israelis, and we live under a government where, regardless of which party is in power, is on its knees on behalf of Israel. So I understand what he's talking about. He's talking about government leaders, a country's leader, in the case of Iran. As much as I did not agree with the Ayatollah, I'm not a religious person, and I certainly don't like extremism or supremacy of any kind. The fact of the matter is he didn't embarrass his people by getting down on his knees to pleasure Israel, as our leaders here in the United States do. So I understand the point that he was trying to make. And I think if you talk to a lot of Americans, they are embarrassed by the fact that our leadership rarely represents our best interests and seems to prioritize the best interests of Israel in every instance. And I think that what we're experiencing right now is a good example of that.
But this is an Ayatollah who only a few weeks ago slaughtered 30,000 of his people to repress them from protesting.
That number's not confirmed, so you regurgitating it is very questionable, Piers. Where'd you get that number from?
Well, how many do you... Okay, well, how many do you think were killed?
We don't know the exact number. But to say that 30,000 people were slaughtered during those short weeks is ridiculous to me. Iran has put out specific names of individuals who have been killed, and it's around 3,000. We don't know what the exact number is, but you really think 30,000 people were killed? You're not going to question that at all? 30,000?
This lady's
Well,
crazy.
I'm curious, if you don't think it's 30,000, how many do you think it was?
I don't know the exact number. No one knows the exact number.
But you know...
But
if
my
you don't
point
know the
is,
number, how do you
my
know?
Point,
well,
way,
hang on,
you don't have to,
Anna,
you don't have to agree
hang on a
with
second.
the regime in
Hang
Iran.
on a second.
I've said
Hang on
multiple times.
hang
No, I'm
on a
not going to hang
second.
on for a second. I've said multiple times.
You
I don't
are,
agree
actually,
or like the
because I'm
regime
gonna
in
come back
Iran.
at you.
That doesn't
Okay.
mean that it's untrue that they never capitulated to what Israel demanded of them. Whereas here in the United States, we literally spill blood and use our treasure on behalf of Israel. That's the point that Cenk was trying to make. And I think it's a pretty accurate point.
Okay, you can make
Piers,
that point. I'm
like
questioning the... Hang on one second, please. I'm questioning the use of the word courageous about a ruthless, despotic monster. And I'm curious why you are so confident
Defending
it's
him.
not 30,000 people who were killed, but you have no idea how many people were killed. How can you be sure it wasn't 30,000?
No, I don't.
Then?
I don't know how many people are killed. You don't know how many people are killed.
Right, so you don't know it wasn't 30,000.
The highest number you've heard is questionable, to say the least. Especially when you know that Mossad was on the ground, there were armed terrorists on the ground. You know, security forces were killed during those shootings. Look, the hyena's laughing again. Anyway, but to just regurgitate the number that is being perpetuated by the Israelis is ridiculous to me. We don't know the exact number, so rather than regurgitate it, we can say that there was a high casualty count. We don't know the exact number. It's that simple.
But you used to regurgitate the numbers. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. Let me finish. You did regurgitate, Anna, with respect, all the numbers given to you by the Hamas-run Health Authority of Palestinian casualties without any hesitation. And
Which is
without any
confirmed by
of
the
your own
Israelis,
independent
Piers.
confirmation.
That was confirmed by the Israelis.
Well,
You know that, right?
No, it isn't.
Well,
the idea
they were
confirmed that number, right?
It isn't confirmed yet.
They were broadly confirmed eventually. But my point is, you seem very, very keen.
They were
because
not.
the Hamas-run health
They were
ministry
not.
is
Anna,
very
here's my
careful.
Here's my point.
Yeah,
Anna, here's my point. I don't understand your apparent keenness to downplay the ruthlessness of the Ayatollah or Cenk's enthusiasm for calling this guy courageous.
I'm not downplaying it. I'm just not going to regurgitate Israeli propaganda as you're doing right now, Piers.
Piers, can I have a word?
Jonathan Conricus. Yeah, Jonathan, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, since my country has been mentioned so many times by people of questionable moral backgrounds and motivations, I'd like to say a few things about my perspective.
Oh, that's rich coming from a guy who defends the slaughter,
Anna,
the mass
I didn't
slaughter
interrupt
of
you.
innocents. Yeah,
I didn't interrupt you. I didn't use
I'm
bad
interrupting
language
you,
like
so
a little
sorry.
girl like you did. So please, stay in your lane. I didn't interrupt you. And
Make
stay
your
out
point.
of mine.
Hurry up.
No, I don't have to
Make your
hurry up,
point.
and I don't take orders from you, Anna. And I would speak
Sure.
because you've spoken a lot and you've said a lot of nonsense, and I want to give my perspective on what's going on.
Right.
And it's
No
ridiculous
one's been
to
able to,
frame this.
debunk anything
It
I've
is
said,
ridiculous to frame this as something that is whereby Israel is in the driving seat. This is an American-led operation.
It is.
Where there are clearly defined goals by the U.S. that serve U.S. strategic interest. That's one set of issues that is separate from the ones that is relevant to Israel. There's a lot of overlap, but here's the Israeli perspective. We live in our national homeland, which we have about 3,000 years of documented and archaeological history that connects us to it. Yet we are surrounded by about 5 or 6 different terrorist organizations that are funded by Iran, by the Islamic regime, who all operate against Israel, killing our civilians, harassing our people, infringing on our sovereignty, and all conniving and trying to bring about the destruction of the state of Israel. These organizations, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, former Iranian proxies in Syria, the Houthis in Yemen, Iranian proxies in Iraq, are all funded by, orchestrated by, and armed by Iran. And the overarching idea is to annihilate the state of Israel. The Islamic Republic has an outspoken goal, which they have been pursuing for the better part of 30 years, to destroy the state of Israel. They're not just saying it, they are doing it, and they have been enacting.
Yeah,
They have been
true.
squandering the resources of the Iranian people. They have
fund
been
war.
mismanaging the funds of Iran, neglecting Iranian people, and they have been prioritizing militants and terrorists in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Judea and Samaria, in Syria, in Iraq, in Yemen, and other places around the world. Why? Because they have this feverish focus, this sick focus on Israel, trying to destroy and annihilate the Jewish state. When Iranians say we want to destroy Israel, we listen to it and we take it with real value because we understand that they're serious. And I'll finish with this, Piers. The motivation from Israel is we want to live in our homeland without Iranian terror organizations, without Iranian ballistic missiles,
Lebanon,
and without
Syria,
Iranian nuclear
Jordan,
weapons
West Bank,
that are aimed at us.
Gaza.
Does your
That
homeland
is the
include the West
objective that
Bank?
Israel
Does your
has.
homeland include the West Bank?
let me. I'm
Samaria,
going to come
Yes,
to you.
most
I'm going to come.
definitely.
Yes,
Our
it does,
homeland
right?
includes
And Gaza?
Judea and Samaria.
And Gaza?
Yes, if you're asking
And Gaza?
about Judea and Samaria, if you ask about Judea and Samaria, yes, that is part of the Jewish
Right, which the whole
homeland.
world thinks is not yours, which the whole world believes is not yours. You're the
Absolutely
expansionist
disgusting.
state, you're the aggressor
No,
state,
we're not
you're the
expansionist
terrorist
at
state,
all.
and you're
We
financed by the
are
United
a
States.
people that came back to our homeland.
That's
we were
right.
expelled from it, and we came
Please
back to our
don't.
homeland.
Okay, don't talk.
And I don't think
Jonathan,
we need
you've had a
to pay excuses
Jonathan,
for it.
I gave you good time, Jonathan. I want to let Glenn finish with a response to what you just said. Glenn.
I mean, this is the victim mentality. The whole world is against us. We just want to be a peaceful country. The reality is it's not the position of the Iranian government that their borders should be expanded. It's the position of the Israeli government that their borders should be radically expanded, including into places and in ways that the United States government for decades under both Democratic and Republican leadership has said is a direct threat to American interests. Settlements in the West Bank, annexing the West Bank, moving into Gaza, bombing Lebanon, expanding into Lebanon. This is the fanatical, expansionist, nuclear-armed, dangerous power in the Middle East that the United States pays for, that American soldiers die for. And this narrative used to be dominant in the West, but people have seen the true face of Israel and U.S. support for Israel over the past couple of years. And you see it in polling, not just in the United States, but around the world, that people see Israel and increasingly the United States as the rogue countries that are the true danger to the world. As an American, I wish that weren't true. I'm doing everything possible in my power to change it. A lot of other people are as well. But that is the reality for now.
I mean, I don't really pay attention to Polymarket, but I'm going to tell you, Piers, that I have a feeling that the Islamic regime is going to fall by the Persian New Year, spring equinox. That's my prediction, March 20th.
Okay.
And General Kimmett, what would be your quick response to that?
I don't think it's going to fall. Larijani has already said he's going to crack down. They brought back Wahidi, who founded the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's Quds Force in 1988. At this point, there seems no fracturing in the IRGC or in the Basij. But it could happen. Things degrade.
General, may I
slowly,
buy you a
fall
beer
apart.
in Iran when it's free? When Iran is
may I
free,
finish?
you have to owe me a trip to Iran so I can buy you a beer and tell you I told
Well, I
you
look
so.
forward to it. And look,
Love that.
nothing would make me happier than for Iran to be a civil society, democratic society that abides by human rights.
I understand where she's coming from. First of all, I understand where this US lady is coming from. A lot of United troops are dying. I understand where she's coming from. But at the same time, it's crazy and it's terrible for her to defend Iran from our president. It's very, very terrible. Because if you notice when Piers Morgan asked her that former Iran president killed over 30,000, she did not even flinch. She was like, that number is not accurate. It can be less than it. Like, it's crazy. Even if he did not kill up to 30,000, he killed a lot. He killed a lot. And it was a dictator. It was a dictatorship. It was bad. People were crying. People were dying. You do not have right to see anything. You see, the problem with this woman is that she have not lived in Iran before. Iran citizens are experiencing. She have not experienced it. So that's why she have mouth to blab. Iran needed help. They needed help for a long time ago. More than 30 years ago, they needed help. But there was no one who could come and help them. The reason why she's angry is that US is supporting Israel. That is why she's angry. Why is US supporting Israel? That is her main issue. That is her main concern. But the thing is that Iran needed help. Israel and Iran, they always have clash. In the aspect of Iran is also funding different people to come against Israel. Do you understand? So let's leave Israel and Iran war aside. The Iran former president, he was not a good man. He killed a lot of people just by having beer in your car. Drink, even if it's not your own, as long as it's alcohol, they're going to flog you. They're going to put you in a guard room. According to what I read, why I watched too. A country cannot just be rejoicing that a president died if the president was a good man. No one rejoices when someone died. It's not a good thing. When someone meaningful dies, the country is in mourning. But why are they celebrating? Then there's something wrong. It is normal logic for this lady to know that there's something wrong. She just despises Israel. It's obvious by the way she was ranging out and saying different words. She just despises Israel. She does not want anything that concerns US and Israel. Israel is a Jewish country and it's a biblical country. US is a Christian nation. What was the main goal? It was to remove Iran from a president, and they did it. So Iran can be a civil country. It can be a country that you won't be afraid. You understand? Because you do not wear your hijab. You won't be afraid that they're going to flog you because there's alcohol in your car. Do you understand? These are those two things I mentioned. There are other things that are going on in Iran that was very terrible. It was very, very terrible. The president's kill to shut people up. So it is concerning, and such a person is not who this US lady should be defended. Even the Canadian lady who was here, she was ashamed of the US lady. She was very, very ashamed. The full panel, everyone was ashamed of that lady because she was saying nonsense. She was saying garbage. She was just vomiting words out. If you do not like Israel, that does not mean you should support Iran dictator because that man caused havoc. People had to run. Do you know what it means to flee from your country because you feel like you're not at peace in that country because of the dictator you have as president? Do you know what it feels like? It's terrible, guys. It's very, very terrible. So this lady defending that guy, that's what pisses me off. Out of the whole conversation here, she defending him pissed me off. There are people who you should defend, not such a man. The entire video was actually beautiful to watch. I love the debate. It was heated. Very, very heated, guys. I also love this Canadian lady. She's very clever. She's very coordinated too. Comment down below what you think about this video. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video as many as you can. Subscribe to our channel, guys. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you stay safe. Puff.